welcome to Pumpkin's Nail Station. Today I'm going to be doing some Aimeili Polygel nails. So we're going to be using the Aimeili Polygel in clear. So that's what we're going to be using. So I've got 2 tubes of this, so I've got one ready. So we're going to be using that. I'm going to be trying these Isopropyl alcohol wipes from my kit. I'm going to be trying my Ysnail forms that I saw on babygirlnails and Nailed It by Nikki. I've got my Prep and Prime, which is essential. I've got a rubber base. This one's by Canni, but I might change it, but I do like that one. It's alright. I brought a brush just for doing my good polygels, because I found when I was using this one and I was mixing it up, the brush was just going all funny because I was mixing the types of polygel, I think. So I just use that one for practice now. I've got a little brush just for cleaning the edges if I go over, cuticle pusher and a pincher, lint-free wipe to wipe off the excess, and 70% isopropyl alcohol, a buffer and a file, and of course my polishes. So we're going to prep the nails first, so I'm going to use these prep and wipe pads. So I've just opened one, so I'm going to use the one that I've opened. So these have got 70% isopropyl alcohol on them. So I've washed my hands beforehand as well in an antiseptic wash, because it'll dehydrate, it'll dry out and get rid of any bugs and germs, and it's not moisturising. So we've got that. I don't feel like they've cleansed it very. I don't feel like there's enough on there, so you can always add a little bit more if you want. But I do like the fact that they are really thick and they're lint free, so there's no lint appearing on my nails. So I assume you can buy these anywhere, these prep pads. So yeah, so we've got that. So I'll just use the rest of that just to make sure my workspace isn't sticky or anything, because I've been filming here quite a bit this weekend. So we've got rid of all of that. We've got this. This is important for taking the liquid off your brush, because you don't have too much liquid on your nails. So we'll just get started then. So the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to prep and prime the nails. So you use the dehydrator first, which is the nail prep. So this is a base 1 product. It's okay. I mean, I paid about £2.50 for it. It's acid free. I filed the nails right down. So basically you will get your file and you file them right down. You don't want any sort of overlap, because it will just look awful, you know. I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter if you just wanted them for a night out or something, or a couple of nights and you didn't want to lose your length, but it don't look very nice having a nail underneath it. So I took the plunge and filed it all off. I've just got a bit of a jagged one here, so I've just got to get rid of it, because the shorter my nails get, the thinner they get. So yeah. Yeah, so I've got rid of that now. So just dust that off with my brush. Now we're going to dehydrate the nail. And basically we just add it. This is acid free. It's always best to get acid free, but still avoid the skin. So I'm just going to speed this part up. Right, so we do this twice, okay, and then we let that dry. So you do that to both of your hands, but I like to do one hand at a time. And then we'll use the primer. Again, this is an acid-free primer. You'll know the difference, because if it's got acid in it, the brush won't be inside it. You'll end up with a bottle with a separate brush. So, because I presume if it's got acid in it, the brush will be affected if it's sat in there for a long time. just going to leave those just to sort of dry off a minute, and then we'll come back and we'll put the base coat on. Okay, right, so we're back. So now we're going to put the rubber base coat on. This is a Canni rubber base. It's like a thickish base coat, so that's, you know, it's also good if you've got like a lot of ridges or you suffer from lifting and stuff like that. So you only need a thin coat, so you can wipe some of it off the neck of the brush. I like to fan out my brush a bit and then drag it down and then go into the sides like that. So I'll just show you one more full speed and then I'll fast forward it. So fan out your brush like that, drag it down. Just make sure you've gone into the whole side. If you've got, I broke that thing, the end of that thing years ago when I trapped it in a door, so that cuticle's never grew back properly. It was damaged. So yeah, so I'm just going to fast forward this bit and then I'll meet you back when I've done all this. Right, so I'm just going to cure that now for 30 seconds and then I'll come back. If you do go over on the sides of your nails, just get your clean up brush in your isopropyl alcohol and just clean around the edges of your fingers. So you just go into your alcohol like that, get rid of most of it, and you can just go in like that. If you've gone over like that, that's just how you would clean it up. Because it's best to get rid of it, because you don't want gel hanging over the edge of your nails. It doesn't look nice and it will be a lot of hassle getting it off later. So I'm just going to cure that and then I'll come back. Right, so what you do now is before you start, what I should have said was you should size up both hands. So I've sized up everything that I want, and we'll start off with the thumb. We'll start off with that, so that is that size there, so it should fit that way and still have like a bit of room for the polygel inside, and it should allow for any lift like that, you know, from the polygel. Right, so we're back. So I've measured up all of these in advance, so I've got the 5 what I need, because that's the best thing to do, and then just keep these in a separate bag or pot or something like that. Right, I've got this jar for them. I'm just going to keep them in there, clean them up and keep them in that, and then you know you've always got your sizes there, so you don't have to keep doing it. And then you would only dip back into these when these start to look really, you know, damaged from it. But if you clean them out regular after use and put them back, then they should last you a fair bit of sets. So we're just going to go straight in for the thumb. So I've got this squeezer on the top of it, because that will prevent air bubbles and it'll keep the gel sitting at the front of the tube like that. So we'll start with the thumb. So we'll start with this size, which is going to go on here, so it should fit from sidewall to sidewall and still have a bit of room, you know, for the polygel to sit inside. So we'll just get started with that one then. So you need your spatula side of your brush for this stage, and you really don't need a lot of polygel. So because I'm only going to be going, so you can, the good thing about these is you can look at how long you want them, and I only really want them to there this time. I don't want them as long, so I'm just going to go for like more of a squared set and like up to there. So that's what I'm going to go for. So we are going up into the A on there, so we know where we're going to. So I'm just going to squeeze off just a bit of this to start me off, like say that much. So So we'll try that, because you can always add more, but you can't really put it back. So drag it up. Probably need a tiny bit more. I'll probably just pop a little bit more in there. So I'm just going to clean the spatula off, dip it in the alcohol and just wipe it on there for now, just so I don't get it all over me. So I'm going to remove the plastic from the brush, dip it into my alcohol, remove the excess and hold on to it. The number part is the tip part, and the top part of these, it's obvious you've got a well part there. So you're just going to pat this down into the form. So if you go in a patting motion, just patting it down. And just remember where you said you was going to. And then you just drag it down a bit and square it off. This is quite a soft polygel, so be gentle with it. Smooth it down the nail. And then just make sure you've dragged it all the way down, so that if you have got like a squared effect. So I've gone just a little bit below where I wanted, but that's fine because you've got file room there. So yep, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to need my clip as well. So you're going to need a couple of these. I've only got one at the minute, but I'm going to order some more. So now we're going to pop this on to the nail. So be gentle when you're pushing this down, and always make sure underneath it's attached to your nail, okay, and you've got it attached up here as well, so everything is attached and you've got it all nice and straight. Okay, and then when you're happy with that, just wet the end of your brush again, removing any excess, and just check round the edges, like so, just making sure you've got it all, and also make sure you pressed it down so there's no air bubbles on the top of the nail. Then we're going to turn it over. then we're going to flatten out this side, smooth it out. The thumb is the hardest nail to do. And then just go underneath there and make sure there's nothing underneath the nail, you know, the natural nail. So just go under there with the brush like that and just make sure there's nothing under there. And then when we're happy with it, when we're happy that we've got nice flat crisp edges, we're just going to have to come back over here and just make sure it's all fitted. And just make sure you've got rid of anything that you've dragged out from the sides. And I've got an air bubble there, an air pocket, so I'm going to have to push that down and just make sure that I've got everything how I want it. So now I'm going to cure this. So you're going to get your clip and you're going to put that bit onto the top there like that, and the flat bit goes onto the bottom. So we're going to pop that into the lamp. So we're just going to cure it for about 10 seconds with the clip on, and then we can remove it. And I can remove the clip, and I'm just going to do it for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to pinch them with this, and then I'm going to give it a full cure. And I'm going to turn it in between. Just to make sure that it's fully cured. Okay, so now I'm just going to get this and I'm just going to pinch a little bit, just to curve the nail a little bit. So I'm just going to pinch the end like that. Just hold it on. This will give you a nice C curve, like a little bend in the nail. Just hold it on there a minute. And now we're just going to fully cure that. Just going to give it a minute and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm happy with that. So just so I don't start touching stuff, I'm just going to wipe it underneath and just check that it's cured. Yep, that feels good. So I'm going to leave that on there for a minute and then we'll move on to, I'll do one more nail and then I'll do the rest of it off camera. Because I'm not quick enough to film a full set yet. So the next finger is quite a small one for me. So I have to use a fairly small form. So I'm using a size 7. And then the other sizes that I've got are size 5s. And then the last finger that I've got is a size 6. So yeah, because I've got tiny pointer nail beds and then the rest of them are a bit bigger. So we're not going to need a lot of polygel in this next one. So let's make sure we've got the right one. So we're really not going to need a lot, so probably not going to take much more than that for this finger, because I think I did take a bit too much last time. Should have just been confident in what was on there. Okay, I'm going to dip it into my alcohol to make sure the brush is clean. And one thing I want to say is using a 70% alcohol, look how clean that is. Now if I used a 90% that would be all cloudy by now. And just making sure you've got all the, you know, if you wiped any polygel off your brush, just make sure you've got it all off. And pop the lid back on the container. So now we're just going to dab. So I'm just going to fast forward this bit because I've showed it here. Okay, right, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to check where we're at. So remember, lightly press on, don't force it on, and lightly push it back so that it sits flush onto the nail. And we do have a little bit, tiny bit of excess. If you don't put too much on the brush, meaning to the nail, then you shouldn't get a lot of excess coming off, like I'm not this time. It's always best to put a little bit in, and then you can always add a bit more if you want. So with these you need to push them back and then make sure they're sitting flat, and hold on to the back of it like that when you're turning the nail over. And then I'll start smoothing it out underneath. This is really important that you do this. And try and flatten the shape if you can. You can always file, so it doesn't really matter too much. And remember what I said about going underneath. Just checking that there's nothing on your skin. And underneath the nail, and then just check the other side. Again, just give it a wipe round. And then just push it back. Make sure it's sitting back. And now I'm going to get this. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm just going to flash cure this, and then I'll come back. Okay, right, so I'm back. So we'll remove these now and we'll take a look at them, and then what I'll do is I'll come back when we need to do the rest of the set. I'll come back when the rest of the set is finished, but I'll just show you what these look like now. So yeah, they're not too bad. I will file that down probably a little bit more. So yeah, so I'm happy with that. So all I would do in this stage is just give it a file like so, and down the sides. So yeah, and just file these down, get rid of that, and then I'll do the same on here, just file it flat, like that, and then just straighten up the edges. so, and then just file it down to whatever length that you're looking for. But yeah, I'm really happy with the shape of these. I'm just taking off that bit of an odd edge. So yeah, I'm very happy with the shape. I still haven't mastered the getting the edge not looking so cloudy yet, but I'm mastering the shape first and then I'll worry about, you know, getting the edges, the gel looking perfectly clear. So I'm just going to give these a wipe down. Give the underneath a wipe down. But yeah, I don't think I've got much like filing to do. There's probably a little bit there, and yeah, I think everything else is fine. Probably just a teeny bit here, and that's it really. So I'm gonna do the rest of it, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we've done both of the hands now. I've just finished the second hand, so I'm just going to pop them off. It's best to leave these on to cool a bit before you attempt to remove them. But look at how curved that is. Wow, I love it. But I'm going to file these down quite a bit because I don't want them as long as that. I just think I put way too much polygel in, so it's something I've got to learn not to think that, oh, that won't be enough, because it might be. So it's best just to see how you get on. So you just pinch and move, and then what you do with the ones that are used, you've got some isopropyl alcohol in here, got some 90%, and I'm just going to throw them in there and leave them for a bit. Pop this lid on, just give them a good shake about, and then just leave them in there, because I've cleaned one or two out in there and it's worked, it's been fine. That one probably could do with going back in there. Or I might not have put that one in there, should I say. So yeah, just leave them in there for a good 5 or 10 minutes and then just dry out the container and store them in a container like that, so you know that they're the ones that you want. So this is the hand that I've filed off. I mean, they're not bad. I've just got to work on these parts really, not making it so cloudy, but the actual shape I'm really happy with from these forms. I don't know if I'm focusing it in right, but I don't know if you can tell that, but just look at the shape. Look at that shape. Beautiful. I love it. Look. They are really nice. I love them. I'm so happy with how it shapes. So thank you, ladies. I appreciate the help that you gave me with this. So at this stage you would just get your file. Just gonna brush off some dust. Used it on the other hand. I'm just going to use this Model 1's file here, which is a 180 grit file. So you're just shaping them down and reducing the length at this stage. So I'm just going to turn the volume down and just file 1 or 2 nails to show you how to do it. So you get it. So basically I'm just going to do that to all of these and then shape it how I want it. So to shape them, I'm just going to angle the file like that and bring it in so that I get like a tapered squared look. but I don't want them too long, because that's just way too long for me. I can't do anything with it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back probably tomorrow now to film the rest, where we'll buff it, and then we'll be gel polishing it with this gorgeous red here, and this other red, this plain red and a white for Christmas, and we'll be putting on some decorations. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. So that's everything for now. So yeah, overall I've been happy with this polygel. It's quite soft, so it's gonna take some getting used to, but the forms, these Ysnail forms, honestly I do recommend them. Do think they make a huge difference in the way that my nails look. They fit better because they go right to the edges, you know what I mean, even if you've got a curved nail bed. Yeah, perfect. I love these Ysnail. So I'll put the link for these in the description box. They were $8.99 plus shipping from Amazon. So yeah, they're not cheap, but like I say, they'll last you for years. So it's an investment worth making if you want to have nice dual form nails. So yeah, I do recommend them. Thumbs up. And the polygel, yeah, so far so good, but we'll see how it wears over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll tell you how it is. But overall, yeah, I would use that polygel again. It is nice. It is really soft, so I imagine this is going to be easy to remove as well. But yeah, overall I'm happy. So thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with the buffing and the polishing. Right, okay, so we're back. I've done these. I've put a clear builder in a bottle just as a thin protective layer, so they're still fairly thin, but it just gives it an extra layer instead of building up more polygel. So I used the clear builder in a bottle by Born Pretty Store. So that's what I used. So I just used that as if it was a normal gel polish, and it does self-level really well. Then if you've got any excess on the top there, I just got my e-file and I just went gently over the top like that, just to remove it with a fine sandband. And then when you've done that, you just get your buffer and you buff it like that. So you buff it in an overlap shape like that, so you don't lose. So you go down one side and then you would go down the other side. Don't do it flat because you'll just lose all that shape that you've just built. And then I've filed it down with this file into a shape. So I've just done that, and then I've gone at an angle, like at a slight angle like that, to taper the end in a bit like that, and then I've just give it a square end. So that's how I've finished all of that. I'll just wipe off my nail with a lint-free wipe, and then we'll put the builder layer on. I'll show you how I did that. So I'll just use one of these wipes because they're much cheaper. Some isopropyl alcohol to clean all the dust off. And then basically I just put a layer of this on. So this just gives it like an extra layer, if you like. Just did a thin coat. And then I just wipe off most of it off the sides, and I just went round the edges like so, just capping the edges in it really gently. And then I'll just tip my hand upside down for a minute, and then I'll cure that for about 60 seconds. Wipe off the tacky layer, and then we'll be ready to go for the gel polish, which will be my Christmas one. So I'm going to be putting on quite a few polishes from the Aimeili Christmas set. I'm going to be using some glitter from Glitter Alchemy, Lola Rose. I'm going to be using some decals from She Modern. Yeah, I'm going to be doing lots and lots of fun stuff. There's going to be hollow, There's going to be all sorts on it, so it's going to be fun. So yeah, so I'm just going to cure that, and then I'll come back and show you the finished result. Okay, so we're back. So this has got a tacky layer on it, so just pop a bit more alcohol on there, not a lot, and just wipe it off. And wipe off underneath, make sure you've got it off all the sides. And just check it feels nice and smooth, and it does. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how this set turned out. So yeah, I'm really pleased. So that is what a painted nail is going to look like. So yeah, I'm really pleased. You'll have to tell me what you think. So far, I'm happy with it. And if you like soft polygel, then the Aimeili gel is a good one because it is quite soft. I just think I've got to learn how to work with it. But by the time I got to the end of the set with this nail, I kind of got exactly what to do with it. So you just have to pat it gently in the centre, and then it forms like a well shape like that, and then just leave it to settle for a minute and then put it on your nail, and it works perfect. But yeah, I'm happy with it. So we'll just see how long it lasts and how easy it is to remove. So yeah, so I'll just pop some pictures up of what the set looks like now, so you can see it a bit better with photos. And then yeah, I'm just going to film my Christmas set now. It's a miniature collab with Just Nailed It, so you'll have to check out both videos. So because we're both going to be doing, I'm going to be painting my nails and doing the Christmas ball in the next video, and then after that I'm just going to do a few separate accent nail videos because it's quite a technical mani, so there's quite a lot of steps. I don't do things by halves. Okay, right, so that's everything. So thanks for watching. Bye.